Did you know that global airport revenues reached a staggering $140 billion? Yes, you heard it right. Aviation is indeed big business. Welcome to the billion-dollar skyways, the intricate network of air travel that keeps our world connected. It's an industry that's literally soaring to new heights. But have you ever wondered how airports make money? The answer is as complex as the operations they undertake every day. Airports generate income from a myriad of sources. They're like bustling cities, with each service contributing to the overall revenue. These sources range from the visible to the often overlooked, all playing a crucial role in keeping the airport wheels turning. One of the key sources of income are the airlines themselves. They rent terminal space, pay landing fees, and incur usage charges for terminals, gates, and other services. Picture an airport as a landlord, with the airlines as their tenants. This relationship is typically formalized in a use and lease agreement, a contract that outlines the terms of their business dealings. But it's not just the airlines that pay rent. The myriad of shops, restaurants, and other facilities that populate the terminals all contribute to the airport's income. So, next time you're buying a last-minute souvenir or grabbing a quick bite before your flight, remember that you're contributing to the airport's earnings. Then there's the car parking and drop-off charges. Ever grumbled about the cost of airport parking? Well, it's another significant revenue source. And let's not forget about passenger counts. The more passengers an airport handles, the higher the revenue from various fees and charges. So how does this all add up to billions? Well, it's a combination of all these factors, plus a healthy dose of strategic planning and efficient operations. In our next segment, we'll delve deeper into the specifics of these revenue streams. And trust me, it's a fascinating journey. So how does this all add up to billions? Let's dive deeper. To understand where the money comes from, we need to talk about a little thing called a use and lease agreement. So what is this agreement? Well, when an airline wishes to use an airport's facilities, a contract is drawn up. This contract, commonly known as a use and lease agreement, outlines the terms and conditions of the airline's use of the airport's facilities, which includes terminal spaces, gates, and services. Now, these agreements are not just formalities. They're major revenue generators for airports. Let's look at some numbers. In 2023, terminal fees, rents, and utilities accounted for 45% of aeronautical revenue. That's almost half of the revenue from aeronautical operations. It's a significant chunk of change, isn't it? But it doesn't stop there. Landing fees, which are charges airlines pay each time one of their planes lands at the airport, accounted for 30% of aeronautical revenue. These fees can vary depending on the size and weight of the aircraft, the time of day, and even the noise level of the aircraft. So, in a nutshell, the use and lease agreement is a vital tool that airports use to ensure they receive their fair share of income from airlines. It's a symbiotic relationship. Airlines need the airports to operate their flights, and airports need the airlines to generate revenue. But airports don't rely solely on aeronautical revenue. In fact, they've learned to hedge their bets against the unpredictability of the airline business cycle. How? By diversifying their income streams, airports are increasingly focusing on non-aeronautical revenue, which includes income from car parking, drop-off charges, concessions, retail, and passenger counts. In 2023, non-aeronautical revenue reached almost $11 billion. That's 45% of total operating income. So while the use and lease agreements with airlines form a significant part of an airport's income, it's clear that airports have learned to be resourceful and innovative in their quest to turn a profit. But that's not all. Airports have another ace up their sleeve. Airports have started focusing on non-aeronautical revenue to weather the unpredictable airline business cycle. So what's this all about? Well, in 2023, non-aeronautical revenue reached a staggering $11 billion. Yes, you heard it right, $11 billion. This accounted for a whopping 45% of the total operating income for airports worldwide. Non-aeronautical revenue is essentially income that airports generate from sources other than airlines. This includes a variety of income sources, from parking and ground transportation to retail and concessions. In fact, for each passenger, airports managed to generate a little over $10 in non-aeronautical revenue. Now, you might be wondering, how do they manage to pull this off? Well, it's quite simple, really. Think about it. Airports are essentially large, bustling marketplaces. They're filled with people who have time to kill and money to spend. And airports are becoming increasingly savvy at capitalizing on this captive audience. One of the ways they do this is through retail and concessions. Airline passengers tend to have higher spending power than the average consumer. As of 2013, passengers had a median household income of $75,000 to $90,000, compared to a national median of just over $52,000. This means that passengers are more likely to indulge in a bit of retail therapy while waiting for their flight. Increasingly, airports are expanding their food and beverage options, moving away from national franchises and bringing in local restaurants and vendors. This not only boosts non-aeronautical revenue, but also enhances the passenger experience, making the airport a destination in itself. In addition to retail and concessions, airports also generate significant income from commercial development and advertising. Large billboards, digital screens and product displays are common sights at most major airports, providing an additional source of income. Now let's take a closer look at some of these revenue streams. When you think about airports, you probably don't think about parking lots, shuttle buses and rental cars, but these are significant contributors to airport revenues. Let's start with parking. Airports charge for short-term and long-term parking, and these fees can add up quickly, especially at larger airports where space is at a premium. Then there's ground transportation. This includes the fees paid by shuttle services, taxis and ride-sharing companies for the right to operate at the airport. These fees are usually based on the number of trips made, which can be substantial at busy airports. And let's not forget about rental cars. Rental car companies pay airports for the privilege of operating on site. These fees can be based on a percentage of gross receipts or a flat rate, and can be a significant source of revenue. So next time you park your car, catch a ride or rent a vehicle at the airport, remember that you're contributing to the airport's bottom line. Now let's move inside the airport. Inside the terminal, airports are not just about planes and passengers. They're also about shopping and advertising. Indeed, the revenue generated by concessions, retail and advertising plays a significant role in an airport's financial health. Just think about it. You've checked in, gone through security, and now you have some time to kill before your flight. The terminal becomes a mall with a variety of shops and restaurants vying for your attention. These businesses pay rent to the airport, which forms part of the airport's revenue stream. But it's not just about rent. Airports also profit from a percentage of the sales from these concessions. This is known as concessionaire revenue, and it's a clever way airports have diversified their income streams. Airports have been smart to capitalize on the captive audience they have in passengers. According to a survey by the Airports Council International, airline passengers typically have more spending power than the national median. This means that people are more likely to make purchases, from a last-minute souvenir to a luxury handbag, while waiting for their flight. And then there's advertising. Airports are prime real estate for advertisers wanting to reach a global audience. Those billboards you see as you're walking to your gate, they're not just there to brighten up the terminal, they're generating revenue for the airport. But airports aren't resting on their laurels. They're continually looking for ways to increase these revenues. One way they're doing this is by expanding their food and beverage options. Rather than just offering national franchises, they're bringing in local restaurants and vendors. This not only gives passengers more choices, but it also helps to create a sense of place, making the airport a destination in its own right. So, what does this mean for smaller airports? Well, they face the challenge of attracting and retaining businesses while also creating an environment that encourages passengers to spend. But that's a topic for another time. For now, just remember, next time you're at the airport, every purchase you make is helping to keep that airport flying high. Not all airports are created equal. Smaller or regional airports often struggle to find profit, despite handling millions of passengers per year. The aviation landscape has been transformed over the past few decades, largely due to air transport liberalization. This has led to an increase in passenger volumes and the emergence of new regional airports, many of which are transformed former military bases. These smaller airports are often owned and operated by public entities, like regional governments or cities, and their operating companies are frequently wholly or partly in public hands. This liberalisation has also sparked the development of low-cost carriers, which began to proliferate after 1990. Their massive entry into the air transport market has significantly shifted the economic environment and business conditions in this sector since 2000. On the one hand, the rise of these carriers has increased demand for air transport and opened up new air connection possibilities, leading to positives for the aviation industry. On the other hand, these low-cost carriers often try to pay minimal charges at airports. They also frequently require financial support to initiate and maintain air connections, which can put a strain on the financial resources of regional airports. This is a major struggle for these smaller hubs, as they strive to balance the need for connectivity with the realities of their financial situation. The impact of these low-cost carriers, combined with the operational challenges of running a regional airport in a liberalized environment, means that these airports face a unique set of struggles. They have to navigate the complexities of the aviation business, from managing airline relationships and maintaining infrastructure to attracting passengers and generating revenue, all while operating in an increasingly competitive and unpredictable market. Despite these challenges, regional airports continue to play a crucial role in our global transport network. They provide essential connectivity, supporting local economies and enabling the growth of the wider aviation industry. It's a complex business, but one that keeps our world connected. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the skies and the billions that keep them running. We've traversed the vast expanse of airport revenues, from the leasing agreements that form the bedrock of aeronautical income to the burgeoning non-aeronautical revenue streams. We've navigated the labyrinth of parking lots, rental car services, and ground transportation, and indulged in the smorgasbord of retail and concessions opportunities. We've also touched down in the often turbulent world of regional airports, exploring the struggles they face amidst the shifting landscape of air transport liberalization. Aviation is indeed a colossal enterprise, a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of progress. It's a world that's constantly evolving, full of fascinating stories and insights. If you've enjoyed this flight of fancy and would like to embark on more such journeys, do join us. Thanks for watching, and please do subscribe to our new aviation channel, Aviation Nuts.